Hello and welcome to Phakaaathi TV. I'm your host Khaya Ndubane. In the studio today, I have Tshepo, our analyst. This weekend it's an international game. There's a game between Bafana Bafana and Mali and Bafana. Looking at the stats, generally Bafana has not done well against Mali in competitive football, but they did manage to beat them 3-0 the last time around. Your thoughts on this coming game?
Sure, Barky, and as always, thanks for welcoming me to the show. I'm really looking forward to the game, and going to this game, I'm not really looking at the stats, how we did, against Mali back in the days and whatsoever. I'm just excited to see how Molefe Ntseki actually is gonna, take charge of his first game since being appointed, the national team head coach. It's very exciting, for me. I mean, people have been crying for some time now to have a local coach, especially someone like Molefe Ntseki, who's been there in the development structures, to take over the national team. So I'm really excited, and I think we have a very good squad as always. I think Bafana Bafana has always had top players, just that our players never really did very well when it comes to bigger stages. But I think this game against Mali is going to be a very true test, test their character. Unfortunately, we had, a couple of setbacks when it comes to, injuries, players being withdrawn. But, there are players who've been called up, like Ntsoelengoe, I think he has done well, for Highlands Park, in the last couple of seasons. And, even this season, he has started very well, taking the club to the, final of the MTN 8. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one against Mali, and I think Bafana will do us proud.
Let's turn our attention now to the Shell Helix Cup between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns at FNB Stadium. There's been a nice build-up, coaches giving a go at each other. But in the studio, I have TK, Thembinkosi, who's going to tell us more about these debates that took place this past week going into this game.
Yeah. Khaya, for me, the highlight has to be the television split between the coaches leading up into the match. I think we've missed those. We missed those kind of things, pre-match interviews have become very generic in the sense that, it's just people talking and sort of hyping each other up, praising each other. This team is big, the players, this. And it's fun to see that, coaches are going at each other before. And I'm sure that will also trickle down to the players, and we'll get a good game between the two sides. I think, the public spect has also fueled, has taken the Shell Helix Cup now in its second year running from just a pre-season tournament to now something that people are looking forward to. And I think, again, just not to focus too much on the public spect between the two referees, the coaches, the two coaches. I think it's highly important that the players also show up. Like we've seen in how dull the Soweto derby has become in recent times, simply because people have stopped, like the rivalry has stopped, and now to see that the coaches are igniting the rivalry between two teams, that's very good to see.
Let's go back to Chiefs. They are also playing in the Muchave Cup the following day after this game against Sundowns. Interesting because now. Looking at their squad, they don't have a big squad. Will that sort of compromise them in the league campaign going forward in the Telkom Cup that is going to start soon? Well, no, I don't think so, because if you look at previously in their participation in the Muchave Cup, they've always fielded sort of like a second stream team, a B side, so to speak. And having watched the MDC as well, I think there are a couple of players that they can just pick out from there to go in and participate in the Muchave Cup. It's not that big of a deal that they're playing back-to-back games in the Shell Helix and then in the Muchave Cup. I think they'll just field the youngsters in the next game. Let's put you on the spot before I let you go. Let's start with Bafana prediction. Prediction there?
Prediction with Bafana, I think, because tradition,
again, going back to how things have always been, whenever we've had a new coach, the guys look revived, they play better, and I'm not expecting a loss against Mali. And then with the game against Chiefs and Sundowns going into this game are the stronger side, regardless of the fact that Chiefs has won several games against Baroka and Amazulu, but I think they're still a bit shaky. You know, they've turned the corner. The confidence is coming back slowly. You can see that they're playing better. They're better than they've been in maybe the past 3 or 4 seasons. But still, they're still a bit they're still shaky. And even if you look at how they win these matches, it's through penalties. It's through a mistake by a defender. It's not an outright win where they go out and, you know, they just go out there and they fight for the win. It's always been through mistakes by either the opposition, the referee gives them a penalty here and there. So I'm still not entirely convinced about Chiefs, even though they've started winning.
Okay, interesting there. He goes with Bafana and Sundowns against the Chiefs. Perhaps you have your own predictions. You can share those on our social media platforms. On Twitter, we're at Phakaaathi, on Facebook, Phakaaathi. Until next time, enjoy the beautiful game.